Okay, I will mute everyone, and Gary, if you unmute please now.
Right, last week I did Dolly Gray, and what happened was that in 2014 I had an email from somebody called Sam, and they wanted me and my wife, or Sam wanted me and my wife to do a presentation to mark the beginnings or the anniversary of World War One, of music and stories. And I was very reluctant to do this because there was a lot of stuff that I didn't really know. I had to learn a lot of stuff from scratch. And anyway, I kept turning this Sam down until eventually it turned from an email to a telephone call. And I found out that Sam was not a man, as I had assumed, but Sam was a Samantha. And I'm afraid I folded up then and I agreed to do the concert for them, and we did it. And it occurred to me when I was putting the program together that I hadn't actually written myself anything about World War One. So I set about doing it, and I recalled a story when I was a small boy, and I'm not sure how old I was, but I was the sort of age where young boys get their heads stuck in 5 bar gates, which I did manage to do. And anyway, this was to my nan's sister on a farm locally. And on the mantelpiece was a picture of a young man in his soldier's uniform. And I asked who was that, and I was told that that would have been your Uncle Albert. And Albert was one of the many thousands of casualties in the First World War. And all that remained of Albert was an old and faded photograph. So it's called Albert, or an old and faded photograph. An old and faded photograph is all she has of him. It stands upon the mantel by the fire, and she'll sit there of an evening and dream what might have been, till the light grows dim and she to bed retires. Hers a simple country life, a farm out on the fen, married when just scarcely from her teens. A farmer's wife, the farming life, as lives were lived back then, and soon a newborn son to bless the scene. But an old and faded photograph is all she has of him. It stands upon the mantel by the fire, and she'll sit there of an evening and dream what might have been, till the light grows dim and she to bed retires. As Albert grew towards a man, he'd help out on the farm, with the harvest and the ploughing and the horses. And leaving school, no question what in life he would become. Like father and grandfather, he would work the land, of course. But an old and faded photograph is all she has of him. It stands upon the mantel by the fire, and she'll sit there of an evening and dream what might have been, till the light grows dim and she to bed retires. 1914, the Great War turned the whole world on its head. Your country needs you, Kitchener declared. Boys were signed to face the foe, to taste the Kaiser's lead. Girls to give the wounded loving care. But an old and faded photograph is all she has of him. It stands upon the mantle by the fire, and she'll sit there of an evening and dream what might have been, till the light grows dim and she to bed retires. There are pictures on the mantles over Europe and the world, of young ones lost beneath that bloody veil, and their mothers sit and ponder as the memories unfurl, like the flags that deck the carnage of the field. But an old and faded photograph is all she has of him. It stands upon the mantle by the fire, and she'll sit there of an evening and dream what might have been, till the light grows dim and she to bed retires. Till the light grows dim and she to bed retires. Thank you.
Well done, Gary.
Super, thank you very much, Gary. Now we have a new victim. Guest.
A new victim.
It'll be Andrew, then John, then Mark. So